So here are the categories of the plant taxonomy hierarchy that I want you to memorize. Kingdom, division, class, order, family, genus, and species. Just work on it a while and it will roll off your tongue. Kingdom is the highest division, and that's where you get the division between, for instance, plants and animals and single-celled organisms. So very gross differences in organisms on Earth. So all of our kingdoms that in the kingdom we talk about in this class is plantae, plants. Division, within the plants anyway, with the sort of plants that we deal with, has to do with whether they are gymnosperms or angiosperms. Are they conifers or are they flowering plants? And then class, again, in the sort of plants that we look at, particularly in the angiosperms, the division that happens in class is whether it's a monocot or a dicot. That is there one cotyledon in the seed or two cotyledons? So after that, though, order through species, there are all kinds of different orders, families, genera, and species in the plants that we're looking at. So we're going to play a game now called Where Does It Fit? And what I'm going to do is show you a couple of different plants and then have you guess where they separate on this scale.
And my favorite legume. That's a pinto bean. And another of my favorite legumes, peanut.
Okay, so now you've seen two of my favorite legumes, peanut and dry bean. Where do they separate in the taxonomic scale? Well, they're both in the same family, and so they would be in different genera and species. They're both legumes, and legumes are in the family Fabaceae. So both bean and peanut and all other legumes are in the Fabaceae family. But below that, they separate.
Oh, we have a tomato here that might have a chance. Time to get these peppers in.
Okay, tomato and pepper. I bet some of you know this one. Where do those separate? Well, tomato and pepper are in the same family. They're Solanaceae. And so is potato. They're all in the Solanum family, or Solanaceae. But tomato and pepper separate at the genus level.
Ah, nice white chrysanthemum. A few of these would look good on the dinner table. Not too many sunflowers left, but a little bit here.
Okay, here's another hard one because they look so different. Sunflower and chrysanthemum. Where do those separate? Well, actually, if you look at the flower, you'll see they are very similar. And when you have flowers that look the same, that means they're in the same family. So sunflower and chrysanthemum are in the same family, the Asteraceae. Remember, these are the aster flowers, also called composite flowers, that look like one flower, but really it's a compact inflorescence that has ray flowers around the outside and disc flowers in the middle. I went through that a few lessons ago. But they're both in that same family, the Asteraceae.
And a small cabbage. Ooh. With an insect. A little bit of broccoli yet.
So what about cabbage and broccoli? Where do they separate? Well, this is kind of a trick one, but it's an unbelievable one, actually, for both cabbage, and broccoli, all of these categories are the same. They're the same right down to the species level. Hard to believe, isn't it? They look so different, a broccoli and a cabbage, but they're exactly the same genus and species, Brassica oleracea. And it's only once you go into the different varieties within those types that they separate. So a trick question, they're identical throughout the whole taxonomy that we're seeing here.
Seems like you keep coming back to these. Here it is, the 18th of October. And I still have nasturtiums.
Okay, so nasturtium. Where is nasturtium relative to cabbage and broccoli, the Brassica oleracea that we just looked at? Are they exactly the same species as well? Well, no, they're not. They're the same order, though, the order Brassicales, which is the same order that you find the cabbage and the broccoli in. But from there on in, they're in different families, different genus, and different species. But the same order.
Maybe a little late for hop harvest, but these are really pungent. These glands down at the base of the inflorescence have the bittering agents that are used in beer making. Phew. The grapes suffered a bit this year, especially from the Japanese beetles. How about some celery? Looks like it has a little bit of damage from the cold, but otherwise, nice looking petioles. How about some herbs like basil?
Okay, the last comparison then is a large group. Hops, grapes, celery, and basil. Where do they separate? Well, actually, the only thing similar about those plants is that they're in the same class. They're in the class that makes up the dicots, sometimes called the eudicots when you take a look at the taxonomic key. Although, as you're looking at different taxonomic keys, you'll see different names in that category. But in general, they are a dicot plant, and that's the only thing similar about them. From order on down, they're completely different.